Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Friday, September 12, 2025. And in the news this afternoon, Manchester councillors are concerned over deportee surveillance. Manchester councillors are shocked by Tuesday's 4-hour standoff between the security forces and the murder suspect Dave Wilson raised the concerns over how deportees are monitored by the police. This as news spread that Wilson had served a prison time in Canada for armed robberies and was reportedly deported at least 3 times. He was deported 3 times already. Somebody like that should have been on the radar. Somebody like that should have been under a microscope. It begs the question, a similar crime like this, though not as serious as the one here, was already committed in Canada, said Councillor Mario Mitchell of the People's National Party, Belfield Division, at a Thursday sitting of the Manchester Municipal Corporation. According to the Globe and the Mail newspaper in Canada, Wilson and an accomplice had been twice deported before a February 2003 robbery in Toronto, during which heavily armed men wearing bulletproof vests overpowered guards in an armored truck, making a cash delivery to a bank. Wilson and his accomplice had both been convicted and imprisoned in the 1990s for armed robberies, and on separate occasions the two were deported after serving prison terms. 54-year-old Wilson was accused of the shooting death of 31-year-old Adrian Bernard early Tuesday morning. On Wednesday, Jamaican police said they were investigating the murder, and they disclosed that Wilson was a deportee. However, councillors in Manchester are questioning what measures are in place to monitor deportees. There are a number of things that make me very uncomfortable. When Donald Trump was re-elected, I asked the question in this very council about these persons who are coming in by deportation. Are we monitoring them? Said Councillor Mario Mitchell of the People's National Party, Belfield Division. I am asking from a standpoint where it needs to go to a higher place. We need to have some monitoring of these persons. I hope the people of Manchester can be reassured that we are monitoring the situations, he added. Inspector Berthelin Lloyd, sub-officer in charge of the Manchester Community Safety and the Security Branch, responded to the concerns but made it clear that the questions will be directed to her superior. Regarding the monitoring of the deportees, I think something will have to be done, so I will take the concerns to the superintendent, Kerry Duncan, so that they can have things in place to treat with it, she said. Her response triggered further expressions of concern as Mandeville Mayor Donovan Mitchell also questioned the work of the police. I am taken aback to say that you would have to do whatever it is with the superintendent. I thought there was a unit within the Jamaica Constabulary Force or a section that would be monitoring deportees. They come and you watch their movements and all of that, and so it would be easy for the communities or the country to know what they are charged for. What are they here for? Because for that type of situation that happened on Caledonia Road, you can imagine if it was a day when school was in session at the Vocational Training Development Institute, or it was a busy day, what could have happened, he said. I think if we don't have it, or if we have it, it has to be monitored more and more, because more deportees are coming back to Jamaica than normal. We need to look at what is happening and how it is that we are going to carve out some things so at least that the citizens know, added Mayor Mitchell. He pointed to the serious charges for which Wilson served the time in Canada. He was charged for robbery with an assault rifle. He was deported to Jamaica 3 times. For the life of me and for the life of the citizens of Manchester, this is one person who should be on the radar. It should be something that everybody knows and where he lives and all of that. There has to be better monitoring, said Mayor Mitchell. Councillor Mario Mitchell interjected and pointed to an article published in Thursday's Jamaica Observer. The monitoring needs to be taken up seriously because if you look at the research here, Wilson started showing signs 1 year ago of being a nightmare neighbor. He started disrupting the garbage and being aggressive with his neighbors, and those who are already there and the system should have picked up, said Mario Mitchell. He also questioned whether police have on their radar former military personnel with superior training who have gone rogue. When they go on the other side, they become a serious threat to us as a nation. Are we also monitoring them along with the deportees, those who now start to lead the gangs? Asked Mario Mitchell. The police said on Tuesday that Bernard and Wilson had a dispute over the cost of an item. It is alleged that during the argument, Wilson left and returned with a rifle and opened gunfire at Bernard, who was seated in his motor car. Wilson fled the scene in a blue Honda Accord. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, Bernard was seen with gunshot wounds to his right leg and the chest. He was assisted to hospital, where he was pronounced dead, the police statement read in part. Detectives probing the murder went to Wilson's apartment on Caledonia Road in Mandeville. There, the authorities said Wilson fired at the security forces from a ground-floor apartment at the front of the complex. 2 armored vehicles and a truck had to be used to breach the premises and remove a grill during the security forces' entry. The police said following Tuesday's incident, 745 assorted rounds of ammunition were seized. They also said that an Omni-hybrid multi-caliber rifle with 28 5.56 rounds and a Pietro Beretta 9mm pistol with an affixed magazine containing 17 rounds were found beside Wilson, who was fatally shot. Stroke keeps a cabbie from court. Tempers flared at the Sangster International Airport on July 29, spilling over into an altercation that left a taxi operator injured. However, when the assault case against the 42-year-old Michael Lynch was called up in the St. James Parish Court on Wednesday, the court was told he has since suffered a stroke that has created mobility issues. According to court records, the complainant, a taxi operator, was negotiating fares with the passengers when Lynch reportedly became involved in the discussion. Words quickly escalated into a confrontation, with Lynch allegedly accusing the taxi operator of dishonesty, exclaiming, "Uno taxi man two thief." The verbal exchange intensified, culminating in Lynch striking the complainant in the left eye, according to court documents. The incident was promptly reported to police, leading to Lynch's arrest and the subsequent charge of assault occasioning bodily harm. During Wednesday's court proceeding, his aunt represented him, informing the court that Lynch suffered a stroke on August 18, which was confirmed by a medical certificate. She also stated that he now requires assistance with mobility and daily activities. In light of Lynch's medical condition, Judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton issued a warrant but stayed its execution until September 17, when the case will be mentioned again. Man charged with hurling abusive language at a cop. A routine moment at the Sangster International Airport on August 23 erupted into a heated verbal exchange, which resulted in Avery Walker being hauled before the St. James Parish Court on Wednesday, charged with abusive and calumnious language, as well as obstructing a police constable. He is represented by attorney Jermaine Campbell. Court records revealed that about 10:45 a.m., police on foot patrol noticed Walker's vehicle stopped in the road, creating a traffic backlog. The allegations are that when a cop approached Walker to address the obstruction and ask for his driver's license, Walker refused, saying, "Give which license? You stupid man? You a fool man? Just hurry up and do what you have to do. Officer, you know more while you make a devil talk to you?" In court, Judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton offered a sharp retort. "The devil is talking to Mr. Walker more than anybody else," she said, underscoring the intensity of his words. While there was no mention of a separate charge for resisting arrest, the court clerk noted that the available statement did not support it. A new mention date has been set for September 24, allowing the investigating officer to provide further information. In the meantime, Judge Fairclough Hilton extended Walker's bail. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.